my gosh. Well, hello. Any future us who are tuning into this little recording of ours about a date. Between Jaskier and Kar-halle. There's been a promised 101 for the time being, as of recently at least, of Jas taking Kar on a little date. And we're finally doing it. So exciting. Now, to set things up for our player Kar-halle here, we have so just
I will say that you are setting a precedent. I may or may not do this for any of the Rifts couples if those happen in the future. Because like the way the group works, I'm gonna be doing more one-on-one sessions with you guys than
I'm so excited.
than we'll ever do with Mesona.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it makes sense. It does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I want to do some for you guys in the near future. It's just a bummer you're all in Kymel together.
That's so true.
Anyway, but yeah, this is setting a precedent. I don't know how one of these would work, so I'm excited. I'm very intrigued with whatever you've got.
Playing this super chill. I just have this premise in my mind, and we'll see how it goes from there. You know.
I'm excited.
Well, Jas decided, oh yeah, he wanted to take you on a date. So he prepared a little something, setting it up over the couple weeks. He had told Kar-halle, more so probably at the beginning of the month, that he was planning on taking her on an official date soon. You guys have been staying with Raiden at his big mansion up on top of the mountain for a long time now. I'd say about a few months in, around the time that Kanori goes off with Yin, actually, and went on her little adventure up in the north. Yeah, so she's been gone for maybe a few days now, since she went down the mountain to get teleported out by Narcissus and everything. But yeah, so Raiden had offered to help you guys go to a cool locale or something, teleport you guys out. And just like, no, that's fine. We'll do something local. And didn't really, I will say, Jaskier, this whole time that you guys have been staying at the mount on top of the mountain up in the Coel mansion here, he's not really lightened up on Raiden as a whole. He's far more cautious than I mean, the rest of you guys are pretty cautious about Raiden as a character, but Jaskier is a little bit more suspicious than even you guys are. He still has a haze of distrust based on the whole Enora thing going on back then, and also the kidnapping you thing, and he just really doesn't have a good angle on the guy so much.
I think it's kind of actually disturbing how much Kar-halle trusts him after all.
No, exactly. Which makes sense from Kar-halle's perspective, I think. And even Enora doesn't necessarily distrust him so much because she wasn't really aware of the like how bad it was for a minute because she wasn't really there, right? She was like, when she was kidnapped, so to speak, she wasn't aware of it. She was just like in the middle of a conversation and then she poofed back in front of you again.
No, it's just like it's occurred to me that like Kar-halle got the worst end, like the worst deal from Raiden, and she's like, "Yeah, we're cool now."
Yeah. But as of now, Raiden is totally indebted to you and does basically spoil you in a means to make amends as much as he can. So that was part of the offer, and Jaskier kind of shut him down immediately. It was like, no, we'll do something local. Don't get involved. But yeah, you guys have been enjoying your stay at the mansion, though. It's been nice. And Jaskier ended up, he'll tell you later, actually, after the whole episode ensues, but he got the idea from Shannon, actually, from the local kitchens and everything. She had given him...
I hate her so much.
This idea. She had told him about a little locale in Coel, the Coel Theater. He decided to take you to one of their local plays going on recently. Yeah, called the Descent of Chaos. And Descent of Chaos actually talks about Jadis' renowned descent to Mesona and walking the earth for a little bit of time. She is known to have fallen in love with a mortal at the time, or at least the mortal fell in love with her. And she got up to a lot of interesting little interludes while she was here on Earth, at least according to legend. And this is a play comedy that's based on the goddess of chaos descending to walk amongst the mortals. Anyway, you guys got some tickets. Jas got you guys some tickets, and you guys made your way to the little theater. Now, as whatever went down with the theater, also randomly, it is it's also sponsored. The theater troupe itself, the Coel Theater, is sponsored by Archie's tinctures, or Archie's
that freaking guy.
Yeah, that freaking guy.
I know who you're talking about.
Yep, yeah, Archibald's. Oh, what is it called? Archie's tinctures. I was right the first time. Yeah, sponsored by Archie's tinctures as well. He's got his hand in multiple pots across the city. But
yeah, he does.
The presentation on the stage and everything was actually pretty good. Not that you necessarily remember. I will say you guys did pre-game before going to the theater. So go ahead and give me some Constitution saving throws. Give me 2, 1 for like before, and then 2 for the descent to the city, because you guys took a couple of bottles of rum with you guys, a couple jars with you guys for the day, for the night, and drinking before going into the theater. They ended up having you guys toss out your guys' jars, so you guys actually drained them in a alley before going in so that you guys didn't waste it. Something brewed probably by you, Kar, in the past month or so. But yeah, so give me some con saves, and I'm going to take some con saves from him as well.
Okay. That's actually not great.
Good. Not great too. I was like, oh no. Okay. I hope they're keeping even.
Okay, well the first one. Okay, but it's Kar-halle. I have a +7 to my con saves. We've got a 24 for the first one, and
great.
Only. Well, the second one's only a 16.
16. Okay.
Which is ridiculously low for Kar-halle because I rolled a 9.
Thing is, you do go inside, and okay, so at the beginning of the night, you're going hard, and you're going, but you're fine. You are not like barely even buzzed, or no. Actually, you have that nice buzz going on, but it's barely anything for you. You can tell it like you're gonna need at least another couple jars to end up feeling anything more than just this pleasant low buzz. Jas, however, he right out of the gate kind of started looking a little rougher, and through the night started to take it a little better. You know, kind of like how Jameson like Floor got like just drunk already, but he was able to continue drinking, and he wasn't like he wasn't going to go throw up or anything necessarily. So kind of like that. Right out of the gate, he kind of got a bit day drunk there. But as the night went on, smoothed out a little bit more. Thing is, you don't remember how the night continued so much. You guys get to the theater, and you remember seeing the troupe greeting people and welcoming them in, taking the different tickets that you guys had. You remember Jas handing his ticket to whoever was accepting. It might have been someone you recognize, but you remember a conversation there, some sort of argument, something, Jas being confused, but then everything goes black. You open your eyes.
Oh no.
Jaskier's face, actually. He's looking at you with tension in his brows, very intense, glaring into your eyes. You feel weightless all of a sudden. Your legs are swinging in nothing, actually. You realize you're holding on to Jaskier's hands, gripping his wrists, and he's holding on to your wrists, and him staring into your eyes with the tension in his brow is his panic, because you are hanging over an expanse right now. And you look down, and you're presently hanging from the highest balustrade up in the rafters of this theater right now. You're presently hanging down, like from his hands, hanging from above here. You
What the heck, Liz?
are blinking away like blurry dots and darkness from the edges of your vision. You're coming out of something. You can tell. What can you tell? Roll me a medicine check as you're feeling like your own body and trying to understand what's going on.
Can he lift me? I'm really heavy.
He's holding on as tight as he can, but his face is telling you, his face without like base insight, because you're pretty insightful. You can tell his face is like, I'm about to drop you. You are like hanging for a few seconds, like the moment is he just caught you, and you are hanging by his fingers, but slipping out presently because he can't hold you for very long.
Medicine is a dirty 20.
Medicine, dirty 20, nice. Okay. You can tell the drugs in your system are still a haze over your senses a little bit. You're feeling a little bit fluffy, a little loose, a little confused, actually. You can't really remember the past. You're not even sure exactly how long. But with a dirty 20, you can tell these are similar to the effects of what is it called now? Hold on. Similar to the effects of something that you felt before, actually. So it's something you're familiar with. If I can pull up the right one. All the pages. Actually, I had it pulled up on my notes first. Herbs and potions. It's Styx root. And this root that grows on restless ground, if someone eats it raw, it can affect the inability to remember anything for a period of time. Depending on how well you rolled and everything, that period of time is affected by that, basically. So, with a lower roll,
Isn't the duration of Styx root like 8 hours?
It's up to it's for the next 8 hours. So a con save of 12 lowers it to 6 hours. 15 to 4 hours, 18 to 1 hour, 20 to completely ignore the effect. So you were pretty low. Your lowest was wasn't it 14?
16.
Oh, I was thinking of him. Sorry.
It was a 24 and a 16.
24 and a 16. Okay. So your 16 gets you within the Okay. I lost the thing. Okay, so your 16 got it to 4 hours. So you are missing 4 hours. Jen Yin rolled a little bit above you.
You do mean Jaskier, right?
Yes. What did I say? Jen Yin? Oh,
you said
yeah,
Jen Yin.
Jaskier rolled a little bit above.
That would be very confusing.
He seems to have shaken it off within the period. When you look down below, the crowd is mostly cleared. There's some individuals that are still standing in the standing room below the stage. The boxes you can't really tell as you're kind of glancing about and you're still hanging from above. But I'm going to roll for Jaskier right in this moment as your legs are swinging and you're starting to intake the fact that you've been drugged. You're not sure when, you're not sure how, but you're taking that in that moment. He is losing his grip on you. So I'm going to roll for him. Go ahead and roll me to hold on to him if you want to. The thing
could I wild shape into a flying squirrel?
You totally could. Do you want to go for it? Do you want to do that instead? Okay.
So I don't want him to hurt himself.
You're definitely seeing him starting to tip out. He's got his leg wrapped around one of the rafters here. It's kind of like hooked around one of the borders of the wood here, but he is definitely slipping along with trying to hold you and your weight up with him. Now, as you are up here, go ahead and roll me a perception check as you turn into your squirrel self, and you don't have to worry about losing your grip on him in this moment. You're about to start dropping from where you're at and everything. You're hanging below the rafters at the moment, and you're not going to be able to fly back up again because you're a squirrel. You're gliding.
Yeah,
You're gonna have
it's
to
gliding down.
downwards. But go ahead and roll me a perception check from while you're still up in the rafters.
Ooh, or could I turn into a spider instead, and I could climb up?
You already said flying squirrel, so we're locked in on that guy.
Okay.
But
okay.
as
That's
you
fine.
Go ahead and roll me your perception check.
Okay. Oh, nat 20, baby.
Oh, nice. Okay, super cool. So you glance around.
Perception, that's 21.
Nice. Okay, so as you glance around, taking in the surroundings, you see above you on the rafters, Jaskier's not alone. It's you, him, and there seems to be multiple different shadows, different figures that are standing in the rafters. Some of them seem to have just crested the whatever staircase brings them up to this kind of. You're assuming this is probably part of the troops, like. Effects and everything. They probably drop things down from above. They have people walking the rafters for different things. Maybe different actors are going to drop from above for like angels, stuff like that, celestials, blah, blah, blah. So you see what look to be some actors and whatnot, maybe stage hands that are cresting the stairs, looking up at you guys, gawking at you guys. Not only those, but you see people who are already up there with you, about six individuals who look to be of the more suspicious mien, encroaching upon Jaskier as you are presently falling. So as you are drifting downwards, you see across the entire theater here, you see different boxes of individuals. They seem to be like what's it called? Audience in different places. So there's the stage that has standing room around it. You see different individuals in there. You're not sure who is just gawking and who might be involved in whatever's going on. You're not really sure. You see boxes up in the north side of this theater as you're falling. And you glide past multiple nobles, or at least well-dressed folk that are sitting in the probably the sitting area on the balcony here. That's just the better seating for the people who paid higher tickets and all that. You sweep past that and you glide past open seating for just normal tickets, probably the middle seating kind of range of a ticket bought. And you see multiple gawkers there and multiple individuals who are standing up, moving around, and seem to be moving towards where you're falling. Go ahead and give me a give me an acrobatics check and decide where you would like to land. In the map here, we have multiple different spots. You can land on the stage itself. You can land in the standing room. Large amount of standing room here. You have the box seating here, and you have normal seating on the sides.
Okay.
You can.
I was wanting to get
needs the backstage as well. To get back up into the rafters.
Yes.
You can go ahead
trying to get like
intelligence
words.
Oh, sorry. Say it again.
Make the barbarian roll an intelligence check, you jerk.
You can make it a history check or yeah, I think that's
not gonna make a difference. The only intelligence bonus I have is for nature.
I know.
Mean DM.
Like, well, it doesn't really have to do with nature. It just has to do with how theaters are built, I guess, and how well you would know that.
I didn't get crap. I got an 8 minus 1.
An 8 minus 1. Oh no. Okay. I would say your best assumption is that it's somewhere backstage. You're not sure which side you should go to. You don't get any memory flashes of what happened before. But your brain is so fuzzy. You do get different flashes of the night as it's progressed. Go ahead and roll me a wisdom check for intelligence check. Still, it's an intelligence check. Give me I know from memory, I'm like, normally it's intelligence, I think.
This dice is going into the dice jail. That's
No,
a 2.
oh no. Okay, 2. You get no flashes. I will give you, because you're a wisdom-based character, go ahead and roll me a wisdom check, and this will give you the general feel of the night, like what you remember feeling.
Kidding?
Oh no!
20.
Really? Dang. Okay. So, from the beginning of the night,
That is
you
ridiculous.
you remember feeling...
wait, plus my wisdom would be a 21.
Amazing. Yeah.
All
So
right.
that's so
These
funny.
dice, man.
These dice. Yeah, you remember throughout the night, no flashes of memory, but you do remember some annoyance and remembrance. So you remember that you had met with someone, not met with someone, but you remember seeing individuals that you recall. You're not exactly sure why or who. You do remember a part of the night at one point that you were very annoyed by something, and even disappointed, and you remember this explicitly, a little bit annoyed / disappointed in Jaskier for something he did over the evening. You remember feeling I guess the adrenaline rush, and yeah, that's pretty much where you're at. Feelings are kind of hard. Yeah, feelings are kind of hard. I will say you remember being pretty buzzed for the night. Pretty out of it once you got to the theater itself, which is odd because you were feeling fine before you got to the theater. Let's see. Yeah, so no flashes of actual memory as of now, but you can try again soon. As you look around the crowd, you've landed where... go ahead and roll me
Dex.
and decide where you would like to land. Your best shot in your mind, based on your assumption, is landing on the stage. Might be your best shot to getting upstairs again in the rafters.
Okay. So acrobatics would be 16. I was aiming for the stage.
Okay. 16, you definitely land on the stage. Do you wish to be on the left or the right side?
If I can spot the ladder.
Sorry, stage
sort of
left,
ladder.
stage right.
Stage.
Roll me
right.
a perception check.
Okay. 11.
It's less a ladder and more like I guess it is kind of a ladder. You know, with scaffolding, you know how it's not necessarily a ladder that leads up the side. It's kind of like the scaffolding itself that you're climbing.
I was going to turn into a giant spider and crawl up the wall if I had to.
Yeah, you can totally do that too. It will be expending your other wild shape if you do so.
I'm aware. Well, do I have?
Go ahead.
How high is it?
Go ahead and roll me 6d6s.
Oh gosh. For the flying squirrel?
For the flying squirrel?
But the flying squirrel glides down to the ground and does not get hurt. Right?
You're correct. Don't worry about it.
Okay. So that's pretty... If I'm wanting to roll low, we're great. If we're wanting me to roll high, it's bad.
Just go ahead and list me the numbers.
Half of them were ones, so I got 3 ones.
Okay.
A 3, a 4, and a 5.
Okay. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Is this because I told you I had all of my D6s at the ready?
That didn't occur to me, but I'm glad you did, because I chose the D6s for no reason, of course. Anyway, you land, no damage or anything. Don't worry about it. You little squirrel that has the little like greenish looking crystals in its fur.
When you tell me not to worry about things.
It's the most fun thing to say as a DM, you know? You land on the stage. You land on this beautiful wooden expanse of a stage. It looks far larger to you now than it did as a larger individual. But as you land, you seem to have lost. Actually, I'm going to roll them perception checks to see if they tracked you through the air, because you kind of started falling and then you disappeared, and then a little squirrel kind of like made it to the ground apart from you. So, okay, you don't seem to have attracted anyone's attention. They're all still gawking up at the ceiling, up at the rafters, and you see Jaskier from above. It's do you have dark vision as a little squirrel?
I think I do, but let me double check.
Yeah, let's find out.
I made myself a wild shape stat block, but I couldn't find it before. Yes, does have dark vision.
Nice.
That's Pathfinder.
Okay, so that's
blink Pathfinder, but Pathfinder says they do.
No worries. I'm cool with Pathfinder. You blink up at the rafters and you can see Jaskier pulling back, like pulling himself back to a standing position as 4 figures converge on him. And it seems like more figures kind of coming up from behind as well. You can hear the sounds of a scuffle from above. Yeah. So you land on the little stage here, and the wood itself seems to be like pockmarked and worn pretty well. Seems like a lot of feet have traveled across this stage, maybe dancing troops, at all the above, honestly, on top of this. But not only that, it seems like there seems to be some sort of like damage to the stage itself from like blades and whatnot. Indents, bruising on the wood itself as well. So you continue scurrying forward. Do you stay a squirrel as you are?
How high is the ceiling?
The ceiling is about 3 stories up. It's a good amount of feet. It's about 80 feet up.
Okay. Yeah, I think the giant spider is going to be my best bet to get up there quickly. So I'm going to go with the giant spider. I know it's going to take...
you use your other one?
Yeah.
Okay, no worries. You shift out of this creature here, and by the way, when you look around the crowd, you do see some familiar faces. You see the gawking different herbalists actually from before, a few of them. Not everyone, but you see a couple of them had been in the audience. Specifically, you see the little kid from before.
Remy!
Little Remy. He's in the audience, seems to be with a bunch of other kids, gawking at not you anymore because you're presently in your squirrel form, and about to transform into a spider that will draw their eye again. You also see a Lori Bell in the audience. She seems to be with a beau of hers on a date, maybe, gawking in at the ceiling and the chaos going on above. She seems to be getting up and getting ready to leave, actually. You see, let's see. Oh, and you see a couple little halflings down at in the floor, in the ground standing area. So cute. Yeah, a couple halflings, old looking halflings, and yeah, that's pretty much it of who you see out in the group there. But as you make your way towards the scaffolding or the ladder to get yourself back up to the rafters there, roll me a perception check. Oh, you just wanted to climb. Never mind. Sorry. You turn into the spider ladder, right?
Yes, the spider does have dark vision and a climbing speed of 30.
Beautiful. Okay, when you transform into the giant wolf spider, that's what you're transforming into, right?
Yeah, giant spider.
Cool. How many feet are you?
Tall?
Yeah. Like just how many feet wide?
It says large beast.
Yeah, so you're pretty big. You're at least like 6 feet probably. pretty big.
It's a big
That's
old
big.
spider.
Big old spider. And so you hear a lot of screams, and the people that were gawking are now screaming and running. So most of these people are like,
sorry, guys.
off. Totally. No, you're fine. Most everyone's screaming except for the little halfling older lady that's down in the standing room, little Mary. She seems to like glare up in your direction, almost knowingly, though your eyes, you're not really focused on what's going on down in the standing room audience and all that. So
I give a wave with one of my legs.
Your leg rises up in her direction, and the person next to her screams and scurries away, and she just shakes her head and starts to walk out rather sedately, considering the entire storm of people storming out around her, and makes her way to the exit as well. But you see some of the kids are like cooing and laughing and screaming, but they seem to be having more fun with the chaos than they are scared of the chaos. Lori Bell definitely is gone. She disappeared once you turned into a spider. And the other individuals, you hear someone calling out, like banging some sort of gavel thing, trying to grab the attention of different onlookers, and being like, please file out safely. Please do not run over any of your smaller neighbors, please, etc., etc. But people are just taking off and not controlling themselves whatsoever here. You do see a familiar face, a familiar head of bright golden hair, and a mustache in one of the box seats areas. Seems to be like watching the ensuing chaos here. Now, as you rush up the side of the wall here,
I do have I have a ranged web attack that I can use once I get within 60 feet. So I can do up to 60 feet at disadvantage, up to 30 feet normally. So
okay.
I would be popping off hits as soon as I can on the guys around him.
Got you. Okay.
Just preemptively.
Yeah. You make your way up the sides, and yeah, so the familiar face of the golden hair and everything, by the way, was looking up at you guys in concern, by the way, watching what was happening, but looking up at you and what was going on up there with concern. He did not seem to be leaving. Now, as you make your way up the sides, you find a good column that goes straight to the top, and you're scurrying up the side of it. Go ahead. Well, no, that wouldn't be effective. I'm just going to roll to see if they hit you. You see multiple like arrows shooting out from the dark sides of the from the bottom as well as from the top, shooting down at you. So some of these are going to have advantage, and some of them are going to have disadvantage. Now, for these ones that had advantage, does a 30, 20, 21, and a 17 hit?
Yes.
Okay.
All the above.
The ones that have advantage, they're coming from above. Those shots, they're just better because they're not fighting against gravity here, and they can see you pretty clearly as you're making your way up. The damage is not bad, though. So that's going to be 11 points. No. 17 points of piercing damage to your wolf. And then the shot coming down, up from below will have disadvantage.
Raged. Dang it. 2
don't hit. All 3 of those arrows kind of shoot past, shoot wide, hit the wood next to you with a twang, twang as you're going up. Once you reach the level of...
I am going to rage.
Can you rage as your little spider?
Yes. I can. Perfect. I can rage in wild shape, man.
It's amazing. You get to the top. Once you reach the top, you see Jaskier fighting with 6 individuals now. So as you scurry forward, do you wish to... Okay, so the way it's set up, you have multiple little... It's kind of like a grid set up for these rafters here.
Mm-hmm.
And each rafter is only about 2 feet wide. So the more that's going on, the more at risk people are to fall.
The giant spider has a
yes,
feature
the
called
concern is
spider
that
climb. It can climb difficult surfaces, including upside down on ceilings, without needing to make an ability check.
So great.
So it says can climb difficult surfaces.
Yeah, that's so great. Okay, so do you want to be on the rafters themselves, which are this grid-like situation? And I'm going to mark out where Jas is in relation to the others. But do you want to be on the rafters, or do you want to be on the ceiling that's right above them? It's going to be about 15 feet above them still, even from the rafters.
I'm going to go for just the rafters because I don't have a lot of hit points left in this wild shape.
Got you.
I do want to see if I can shoot a couple of them before I get up there with the webs. It would be a DC 12 strength check. They would have to use their action. They're automatically restrained if I hit. And they will have to use their action to break the restraints.
Okay, so as you're getting there, go ahead and roll me initiative.
Okay. Oh my gosh, that's insane. 19. I rolled an 18 twice.
Nice.
Wasted.
You said 19?
Yes.
Okay, and then Jas is... Let me roll for him. That's okay. He's not bad. 17. Classic. Then we have the other guys. And... Yeah, they're pretty much on both sides of you guys.
How convenient.
Quite.
I will say, the giant spider, I'm pleased with my call on that.
Yes.
Despite, plus, I feel like if I had turned into a bear, I might have broken something.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, top of the line with a dirty 20, 2 of them go first. Those guys are going to be the ones wrestling with Jas here at the moment. And as you are crawling to the top, you can overhear a little bit of snatching up little bits and pieces of the conversation here. You hear from them. They go, "Your boss wouldn't want you to be doing this, would he?" And the other one, "You're making a scene." And Jas on the in between them goes, he actually doesn't say anything. He's just silently like fighting them off and everything. As these 2 guys are going to wrestle him, they're trying to grapple him, or they're actually just trying to shove him. And they're going to try to shove him to the ground below. And you see some other individuals down below pulling around the stage, which is you guys are directly above the edge of the stage. So there's kind of a 50-50 chance that if Jas falls, he'll just fall and hit the stage, or fall and hit the ground. So these 2... Pretty good. And then Jas is. Okay, so these guys who are grappling with Jas, he seems to be hardcore struggling, actually. Both of them, one of them grab at one of his legs, shift it underneath him to where he doesn't have a good grip anymore, and the other one gives him a good shove right at the perfect angle to knock him. So the shoves are successful. He got a 10. He got a 14. Actually, he still lost, but he got way higher than I thought he did, because he barely lost. So he got a 17. One of them got an 18, and the other guy got he had advantage, so they got an 18. And Jas does fall.
I'm in wild shape. I can't cast a freaking spell.
So in wild shape, you cannot cast a spell. At the moment that you're cresting and you're getting to the top, though, this is when Jaskier is falling. So you do have he is falling presently. He goes off the rafters because of their action. They move to shove him. It is now you. You have a moment to try to react, to try to catch him. He's presently in the falling motion. He's like below the rafter at this moment. You are too far away to do very much, though. You climbed up.
Can I shoot a web and try to grab him? It doesn't rules as written, it does not work like that, but rule of cool says maybe.
Rule of cool definitely says maybe. Go ahead and roll me just use the dex of the spider, but go ahead and roll me a dex. Wait, what is the web attack normally using? Is it strength or is it your dex?
It is.
You would have to determine it. You'd have to just do the math.
I'm thinking it's dex. It's dex.
Yeah.
Because it's a plus
like
5
minus proficiency from 2 and then 3. So the dex is a plus 3.
Yeah, the dex is a plus 3.
There you go. Go ahead and roll me just a straight dex, and we'll determine that based on his AC.
That is a dirty 20.
Oh, amazing. Okay, so you shoot out your webbing and everything.
I'm thinking like spider, like amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield and Gwen Stacy, but it's not sad and he doesn't die.
Yes.
Yeah, not catches him.
You catch him pretty soon. But as the weight does get pulled off of him and fall on you, go ahead and give me a strength saving throw to see if you catch yourself from falling to him.
Is at advantage. It's with the spider's strength, but it's still at advantage because I'm raging.
Amazing.
So that would be 18.
18. Okay. So he yanks you forward and you skitter just a little bit, but you hold on, pull back, and yank the webbing up again. He's still hanging from your webbing. So you are now holding the weight of another body right here on the edge of one of these rafters that you're holding onto. You will have you're just held back, basically. I would say you have disadvantage on your claw. Well, you can't use your web attack because right now you're holding on to it.
Yes, and I have to roll a 5 or a 6 on the d6 to recharge it.
I would say anyone attacking you, because you can't really move right now, will have advantage on their attacks against you, as long as you're holding Jaskier up. But Jaskier's up, and you see his hand like clawing out of the webbing a little bit, and he gives a little thumbs up. But he can't really like move or even really talk right now with the webbing that's like all over his face and such. As you're holding him up, oh wow, this was a really, really thorough thing. Thank you. Nathan just brought me food. Very husbandly of you, Nathan. Thank you. Yeah, he gives you the little thumbs up, and it is now your turn. Any bonus actions as your spider? That was pretty much your action, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't have any bonus actions, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. I do not.
With that, it's going to be one of Jas's turn, and he's going to wait. Where did I put that page? It's going to be Jas's turn, though. Before that, though, 2 of them get to move. So 2 of them are going to go ahead and shoot little arrows at you.
Ooh.
One fails. Oh, wait.
At least I'm raging now.
Fails. One is a 21 to hit.
Yeah.
But they're like little damage. That's 3 points of piercing damage to you.
Okay.
And Let's see. 3 points of piercing damage. 2 of those take their shots. They're taking their shots from far away, by the way. Then you have Jas's turn. Jas is going to go ahead. Oh, what would be the best option? He's kind of like, okay, do you want me to cut myself out of this and try to get back up there, or? And he's kind of at a loss.
I am a spider. I can't talk to him.
And he's like,
I can like
at a loss of what to do.
I can
so
like give it a yank and like try to like pull him up.
Okay.
Like try like pull yourself up is what I'm trying to communicate.
Yeah. No, I get you. He's gonna go ahead and he takes out a little dagger and he starts to cut just a little hole in the webbing. And it's going to be, he has to roll for it because he's pretty much restrained here.
Yeah. It is a DC 12 strength check.
Okay, that's good.
Break out of the web.
He's got a dirty 20.
The webbing can also be attacked and destroyed. AC 10, HP 5.
Amazing. Okay, so he gets he fights his way out so that he's hanging on to it now. And he uses his action to kind of break out of the web a little bit. Now he's gonna have to spend his next turn cutting his way out. Like his cutting, well, no, he broke out of it. No, he'll spend his next turn pulling himself back up again.
Climbing up, yeah.
So he does free himself easily enough, using a little bit of the dagger attack, and he's successful with the dagger doing the damage there. Hold on. You said it's got an AC 10, right?
And 5 hit points.
5 hit points? Okay.
But it says the restrained target can make a DC 12 strength check bursting the webbing on a success.
Got it.
I think
so that's in the context of someone else coming and cutting you off.
Someone else.
Got it.
Yeah, I think that's what the context was.
He is successful breaking out of that part of it, so he can start climbing his way up then. So he starts to do so, and you're holding on to him. Next is going to be 2 more individuals taking shots at you. These 2 actually are going to encroach upon you, like running at you, actually. So these 2 are going to make their attacks directly on you, and one is a 19 to hit.
Does hit.
And one is a 16 to hit.
Both hit.
Both hit. Okay. So then these guys doing their damage on ya. That's going to be 12 points of piercing damage as they are slashing at you with their little sabers. Are you good?
I'm still good.
Amazing. Okay, so that
I've got 1 hit point of the spider left.
1 point. Both of them are kind of kicking at you, slashing at you. They're like, "What is this gross thing? What did this thing come from?" And
first of all,
they're
rude,
just confused. And next is going to be the last 3, who are before the other 2. So it's going to be 5 actually altogether. So these guys are all going to make attacks. The 3 that I was mentioning first are making ranged attacks. They're farther away on the rafters. They're a couple blocks of wood over in the rafters.
For my object interaction at the end of my turn, could I have like tried to secure the web to the rafter at all?
Not without opposable thumbs.
Okay.
Unfortunately. But
I've got so many legs.
So many legs. I will say, I would next turn, if you want to use an action to try to like shoot out more webbing to attach that webbing somewhere else, maybe we'll have you roll for it again.
We'll see.
But yeah, let's see.
Cool.
Where was
you were attacking me?
They have attacks. So advantage. Okay, so 2 definitely hit. 1 is also definitely hit. So all of them hit.
This went 0 to 100 in a way I was not expecting.
I know, super quickly, but in a fun little way. I was like, oh, that could be a fun little image, little vignette. You are. That's.
Is it more than 1 point of damage?
It's more than 1 point of damage. You're gonna take 4, 10. So 16 points of piercing damage from the arrows as they kind of pierce into your hide. But then the arrows disperse and clatter to the ground down, far, far down below as you shift from your form and into Kar-halle's form. A couple of the arrows are still sticking out of you as you take the remaining damage. But by the way, you are missing 15 other points of slashing damage from earlier in the evening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you are missing all those hit points from earlier before the Styx root wore off of you. But
oh no,
you're fine.
I'm
You're fine. You're a tough. Oh no. But yeah, so you are now, as you shifted form, roll me a dexterity saving throw. See if you catch the rope, the webbing before Jaskier just falls.
Oh yeah, we're good.
Yeah?
We're good. Dirty 20.
Okay, cool. You shift out of form. Jaskier's net of webbing starts to slip from where you were a giant spider and now are no longer attached to it. You throw out a hand and grasp onto it, swinging him, and he kind of thumps into the side of the wood with a bit of a grunt, but he's fine, and you're still holding on to him with one arm. So you've got like that bicep Superman, not Superman, but like Captain America vibe thing going on, holding on to him with one. And so you got the other guys hanging around you. You have 2 more that are rushing up to you to physically be in your space. So you have 4 of them that are physically in your space right now, melee range. And those 4 are going to, these 2 are going to make attacks on you right now. Those are going to be at advantage as well, as you are still, well, I would say no longer fully at advantage, because you're no longer holding on with like everything that you are as the giant wolf spider. Now you have an arm free and stuff, so it's just regular attacks.
My strength is also doubled what it was as a spider.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, you're also really not held back in this anymore. So one's a 10 and one's a 14 to hit. I don't think either hit, correct?
They do not.
Okay, so then the other guys are going to, they make their slashing attacks on you. You kind of knock both blades out of the way, and they're growling at you, and they're like, they're just confused. But one of them does seem to click it, and he goes, I think this is using like druid magic or something. They can turn into animals. I heard about it. And the other guy's like, she could have turned into like a wolf or something. And the other guy, I don't know. But they're making their attacks on you.
I want to respond to that. I prefer bears. And I give them a smile.
Yeah, and they both kind of like lean back a little bit, a little freaked. That's going to be your turn, Kar-halle.
All right. I'm unarmed, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, today is the day. I am so glad I took the tavern brawler feat. Is there anything near me I can throw? Or like anything near me that's like remotely pick-upable. Like Jaskier's good, right? He's up on the rafters. He's good.
He has not climbed up yet. He's presently in your web holding. You have one arm free.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull him up.
Yep.
Which should be fairly easy.
Yeah, no, you're fine. I would say this is pretty much object interaction. You like yank him up onto the rack, and the webbing itself is
not
pretty
an object.
My bad. You're right. It's a full action.
Person. No, dang it! Cancel that.
Yeah, you cancel that. He's presently hanging off the rafters. He starts to hold on with his own now, and
as I yank him up and get him up to eye level. Hi. What's going on?
He looks at you with a cocked head, a bit confused himself. He's like, what do you mean?
We'll talk.
And he looks at you with a bit of an appraising glance as you're still kind of registering what's going on here.
But otherwise, I shall.
You have 4 guys around you, and basically 4 more at a distance around you.
I'm gonna look around for a weapon to improvise, which is not too shabby as far as perception goes for Kar-halle. 15.
Sorry, hold on. It didn't occur to me how messy this would be. I'm gonna go wash my hands and be right back. It's like all over my face. Nathan, you should have warned me. This is really good though. It's so messy, I can't really do it with Naomi. But I appreciate it.
I didn't cook the jalapenos well. They're too crunchy. They're raw.
I like them that way.
And don't break them in there.
That's really good. Does the water work? Do you use the water?
No.
Wait, why is there no water? I guess there is.
Not that. You guys are breaking already?
Not breaking. I just need to wash my hands.
I'm sorry.
That was not your fault. It just didn't occur to me.
That's good.
Oh, thanks.
Okay,
I'll eat more soon. Ah, so good. Hi, friend. Sorry.
Hello. Side note, am I missing any spell slots?
What are your spells?
Oh, hold on. I'm on my class spells, not prepared. Charm Person, Cure Wounds, Entangle, Healing Word, Long Strider, Thunder Wave, Speak with Animals.
You have a lot of spells.
One of those is
the additional, like the one from your classes, right?
Yeah, those are class things.
I just didn't realize how many levels in Druid you had, I guess, or something.
Oh wait, hold on.
I will say you're missing one
Long
Entangle.
Strider.
Gotcha.
Minus Long Strider. I was swapping stuff around, and I have one too many.
Cool. No worries. But you are missing one Entangled.
Okay.
You are
also
yeah.
Speak with Animals is a class thing, and
you are also missing your Great Axe. You don't have any of your large weapons on you. This wasn't even like a thing because of the conversation. It's literally just you weren't allowed to bring your weapons in with you to the field.
Oh, okay. I didn't come here with it.
Well, you may have come down the mountain with it, but they would have asked you to put it up at the front.
Yeah. I wouldn't have assumed they would let me bring it into the theater.
Yeah. So they would have had you leave out all of your large weapons. I think you would have been able to sneak in with your dagger. Probably. We'll have you roll for it now. Okay. But if you wanted to bring in a dagger, you probably don't really need to because your fists are pretty much weapons in of themselves, so.
Kar-halle doesn't feel the need to sneak weapons in. She is the weapon.
Exactly. So that's kind of the thought.
She's got
so
that. She's got that.
Don't have any of your large
little
weapons.
bit of arrogance.
It really is.
A little bit of arrogance that she's untouchable.
You do see, as far as stuff around you with your 15 perception check, you do see a pulley that is hanging at the nearby. It's probably some sort of setup to lower someone down. It's connected to some ropes, but you could unhook the rope that is hooked up to it at the moment and use that, swing it into people like a large club kind of thing. It's hanging from the ceiling, but it's free. It's pretty mobile. You could swing it at anyone nearby.
Okay. Yeah. I'll use that.
That'll be probably a D8 worth of damage when you land with that. I'll say you're gonna have a little bit of a difficulty with it, I would say a -2 to your attacks, just because it is attached to where it's attached to. So depending on your swing, you're not going to have a great, like, sometimes you might not have a great radius in hitting someone with it. And the further away it gets, the harder it'll just be. You're just not going to be able to hit anyone past 10. I would say about 15 feet around it. So let's see.
Okay, so you have a reach of
you do it with
15
one in melee with you. Yeah, you'll have a reach of.
It'll have a reach of 15 feet, but a -2.
Yeah.
Okay, I can live with that.
Cool.
Reckless attack, baby. We're good.
Okay, so as you make your attacks, there's 4 around you. Go ahead and make your multiple attacks. You reach up, grab the pulley, this pulley gadget thing, and you swing it into the nearest guy. And he goes, "Whoa! I don't know if you want to do this."
You're attacking him. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do.
And Jas is presently pulling himself up onto the rafter and trying to like balance there. The webbing is actually making it a little stickier and a little bit easier to not like lose your balance on the top here. Okay, as you make your swing, go ahead and roll me a acrobatics check to see how balanced you are up here in the rafters.
Oh no.
I'm gonna be rolling.
Okay. You're fine. I was worried.
One of the guys that's around you, he's like, no, the guy who actually says this, whoa, I don't know if you want to do this. And he throws his hands up, he makes himself lose his own balance, and he ends up like tipping a little bit and then actually falling off the rafter. And he's just here, as he slams into the side of the stage, and there's like a crack sound as he like hits it really hard on the edge and then flops down into the ground. The other 3 are like looking down below, look back up at you as you make your attack. You're fine, right?
Yeah, 18.
18, perfect. The DC is only 12, so if you don't roll below that, you're fine. Okay. Oh, this man. Oh, wait, with the webbing, he has advantage. Oh, it's still so bad. I'm rolling so badly for Jaskier. I'm sorry, Jaskier. Jaskier, as he's pulling himself up.
How do you always roll so low for him?
I do. I literally always roll so low for Jas. It's so bad.
Like, he has such cool abilities that I have never seen, because you always roll so low.
You know what? He has Indomitable. He's going to re-roll this failure.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is. He'll Indomitable saving throw, he fails, so he can re-roll it. Wow. Still so bad. But he just barely made it this time. I literally rolled a 5, a 6, a 7, and no, a 5, a 6, and then I just rolled an 8. So he's fine now. Crazy.
This man.
Actually, you know what? He didn't actually 6 plus. He would have passed it with the 6, actually. Doing my own math with his. He's got a pretty high thing. So his last one, he slipped initially, and then he caught himself with the webbing, the stickiness of it, and he pulls himself up, and he's good. He's like, I'm good, I'm fine. Getting up, and he goes, Kar, sorry about this. It was supposed to be a nice night. And he pulls himself back up to his feet, and he pulls out a dagger that he had snuck in.
Huh. I don't think you've ever called me Kar.
Oh, he cocks his head at you, and he goes, you told me to call you Kar, though, so.
I don't mind. I like it.
Okay.
What's going on, by the way, as I'm swinging my attack?
Roll me an attack.
Okay, so they are reckless, by the way.
Nice.
The first one is a... Oh, wait, it's a -2. I just looked at my roll, and then I looked at Makatei. This attack with Makatei would have been a 29.
Nice.
But with this, that's still really freaking high. So that is still 26.
Still 26. Yeah, definitely hits. Go ahead, roll me another attack. And if this one also hits, we'll say you can hit 2 of them in like one swing here.
Yeah, same roll.
Nice. Okay.
26.
Yeah, so you make one swing with this pulley system thing, and it kind of does like a bop bop of two heads and this like swing radius that it's got. And you knock two of the heads. They're gonna re-roll their acrobatics checks to see if they fall. And as you make those attacks, you go ahead and make me a new acrobatics check as you have to like readjust yourself too. Because like just the weight. So, okay, so part of the pulley system, by the way, you're leaning out a little bit across the outside of the rafters, like leaning off of them a little bit to grab it. And when you swing it, it just the weight proportion thing is it's a little bit awkward. But yeah, so you're still good.
Precarious.
And you're precarious, but you're great. You're doing great. You're a woman of the earth anyway. Trees are trees and wood is wood, so it's all the same to you. The bop bop, go ahead and roll me 2d8s for them.
Ooh. Nice. Not great. We got, is it a d8 plus my strength? Or plus max? Improvised is usually plus my strength. So that would be 11.
In any case, something 13? Like this will be your strength either way.
14. My rage damage went up. 14 for the first one. 14 for the first one.
Nice.
And then
the guy just like
that would be,
it conks him. He's out and he falls and hits the ground. No more movement. Nathan, this Jack Daniels is really good.
The second one is only a 10.
A 10.
Only 10.
The other guy, he gets conked and he gets thrown back, and let's see if he actually just falls straight up. It was really good. The Jack Daniels. Yeah, he totally just falls. So he had a few hit points left, but the conk just threw him off balance and he takes a tumble down to the floor, no longer moving once he hits it. He had only a few hit points left. Next, so you have one last
turning back to
you have
Jess.
4 more that are standing at a distance.
Mm-hmm. Turning back to Jess for my explanation.
Oh yeah, he's laughing. He's chuckling about the whole situation, looking down below, and he's still not. I feel like canonically, Jas now has a distaste for heights, just in general. This is not his favorite place to be. But he's wobbles a little bit over to the next column and everything to have a hand on it, and he's chuckling a little nervously. But he seems to be having fun though. He goes, long story short, I made a deal for. Well, I'll explain that part later. It was supposed to be a surprise. It ended up being a bad surprise in this moment.
What part of this ended up with me getting drugged?
Oh, that was both of us accepting food we shouldn't have.
Cool.
We can I'll tell you who to beat up in a minute.
Great. Thank you. Who are these guys? And I am good to kill them, right?
As you say that, next is going to be 2 of them that happen that make their attacks in between you and Jas. So the one next to you is going to make his attack on you. The ones at the distance, and one at a distance is going to make a ranged attack on Jaskier. So you have 21 for you, and then Jaskier gets a 16, which barely hits him.
Can I use the thing?
Armor, so it's a 16.
The thing. I want to use the thing.
The thing?
Subtract 5 from my AC to add 5 to his.
Okay, so you'll take the hit and his hit?
Oh, right. Yeah, I'm gonna take the block. So block half the damage.
Oh, sorry.
Correction. I got confused about
the AC one, or are you asking about the uncanny dodge or uncanny block, so to speak?
I think we had decided on the uncanny block, right? Not the
it's
AC
up to you.
Thing.
I would say, which one would you prefer in this moment?
I think I like the block. I like the taking the damage more than the AC thing.
Okay. Then that's perfect. We'll do that instead. So uncanny block, you throw yourself out and like throw up an arm to like take the arrow instead of him taking it. in that moment. He kind of like is righting himself in this moment. He takes his eyes away from the battle so he can like focus on where his feet are. So the arrow's taking him a little bit by surprise here. And he looks up in time to move mostly out of the way, but it's not quite fully. And you threw up an arm to catch it, as well as the other arrow that's coming for you. Take both at the same time. So we'll just go ahead and roll those for those guys. One is an arrow, one is a slash at you as the guy's like coming at you, but you're not really focused on him because you're paying attention to what's going on with Jess. Both are incidentally the same amount of damage. So that's going to be 6, so 12 points of damage. Piercing and slashing both mean nothing to you, right? They're both cut anyway. Yep.
I'm not below 90 yet.
Nice. And you take both hits, and he goes, yeah. I'll explain once we're on the ground. And refocusing there. Next is going to be Jazz.
I'm taking these guys out, right? Taking these guys out? Yes?
Oh, and he nods. Oh, of course, yeah. He's going to go ahead and whip out the dagger and slash at the guy next to you, that guy's throat. So he's going to go ahead and make his attacks on that guy. Definitely hits with a natural 19, and the other attack...
His cool stuff. He never gets to use his cool stuff.
I know, never gets to use the cool stuff. He's going to go ahead and make that first attack probably something of a pushing attack, actually. Might as well. So he goes ahead. So he like lashes out with his dagger and gives like a little kick as well at the same time. So the guy who rolls to save fails. Lovely. So he slashes him, cuts him with the dagger, which cuts him down to about half HP. And then the kick knocks him down to the ground. And as Jazz kind of like leans over and goes like a little woozy watching the guy fall, and like pulls himself back to the edge of the landing here. And he just
looking down.
It's like I can't help it. I just and he like leans up against the wall of the column here, shaking it off. Next is going to be the other two from a distance making their ranged attacks on. They're gonna make They're going to make both attacks on you, Kar. You are the scary one here. So,
Thank you.
Oh, he did just kill one of their friends. Either which way, a 19 and a dirty 20 to hit.
Both are at advantage.
Oh, you're right.
My reckless.
Basically the same thing. Nothing crazy higher, nothing crazy lower.
Just in case they crit,
Yeah, I appreciate it.
They could do a little bit of damage. Maybe give me a sexy scar or something.
Both of them make their attacks there. The arrow is kind of slicing up on the sides of you. Just little nicks, barely anything really. The damage, you take 4, 7, 11 points of piercing damage. And still wild. You are just too tough for all these guys, and they're kind of looking at you a little scant. Actually, they're gonna take their movement and go ahead and take off because you guys because you've ripped through a majority of these guys so far. So there's only the 4 at a distance left, and they're gonna take their chance and run. So they turn tail and start skedaddling down the scaffolding, or I guess the ladder to the side. Jas is turning to you again, and he goes, I mean, we probably don't have to follow them, probably. That is the way down, though. And he's going to make his way over.
Oh, wait, is it him first?
Oh, no, it is you first. It is now, sorry, it is now your turn. At the top of the round, the other two do take their action and run.
Okay. I'd like to take the arrows that they shot at me and rip them out and throw them at them.
Nice. Okay. Roll me to hit with both of those. Go ahead and roll. Yeah, with your proficiency, but go ahead and use your dex instead of your strength in this context.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, reckless, obviously. That would be a 19 for the first one, and a Only a 15 for the second. Oh wait, I forgot to add my.
Just to confirm, does your reckless apply to ranged attacks, or is it only melee?
Oh no, you are right. It is. Do you want me to re-roll?
Like
Yes.
It's almost 9.
I'll re-roll. I forgot about ranged.
Gotcha.
Okay. So that is a 21 for the first one and a dirty 20 for the second one.
Still totally hit.
Luckily both of those rolled high because my dex bonus is not that high. And with the arrow, that would be just a d6, right?
The arrows would just be a d6.
Yeah.
Oh, honestly, sorry, Kar-halle. Wow. Sorry, Aaron. They're probably going to be a d4 because you're not shooting them like from the arrow.
Yeah. I got you. Do you want to know something funny? I rolled higher on the d4s.
Oh, you did?
On the d4s than I did on the d6s.
That's crazy.
On the d6s, I rolled a 1 and a 3, and on this, I rolled a 2 and a 4.
Pills.
Okay.
Ah, that is so great.
So yeah, that would be a plus my dex plus rage. Does rage apply to my? Okay, I do not get to add my rage bonus to thrown. Do I?
I don't think so, because I think it's a melee thing.
Yeah. That's what I thought. So that would just be 4 for the first one and 6 for the second one.
Nice. 4 and 6, both of them, like the guys take it in the back, like one of them gets it in the back shoulder and the other guy gets in the back of his thigh. It's like, ah! But they both kind of limp / just hobble their way off still. And they turn back to look at you just in kind of just horror, fear, and they make their way down. They're like, shit job we took, and making their way down the side ladder there. Do you go follow them?
I look at Jess, mildly annoyed. Do we have to?
Jess kind of looks at you and shrugs a little bit with a bit of a gulp, sidling his way to the side, to the ladder itself too. But he goes, I mean, they were kind of hired just to do someone's bidding. It's not necessarily their fault, I guess, but you know, they attacked first, so it's not any sweat off my nose.
You never use that turn of phrase right.
And he's gonna head down the ladder.
And he goes, well, you always say blah 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 incorrectly, like, throwing off something else that you always say. And
okay, that's a Goliath Catalan translation thing. As we're like heading down the ladder.
To stop thinking it makes sense to normal people because they don't understand. They don't understand Goliath.
At least I don't misuse common phrases.
He goes, I think they're more like translations to Tallinn, you know? That's probably my excuse too.
Nah.
He goes, as he's going down, by the way, he gets to the bottom, and as you're climbing the rest of the way down as well, the bandits that had kind of escaped are disappeared, like they're gone, seemingly. He turns back to you as you're climbing down, and you turn to face him. He goes, I will make this up to you, though. I promise. We'll go on a actual thing. I might even have a spot. And he turns around again, makes his way to the box seating area, the more well-bred seating area.
You're not gonna tell me what the hell's going on?
He pauses, turns, and he goes, "The 6th route really got to you, huh?" Okay. He comes back over. Some of the different stagehands that are trying to clean up, some of them trying to like move the bodies out of the grounds here, look at you guys kind of like nervously, but also some of them seem to be like a little bit a little baffled, but ashamed, baffled, like a little shamefaced. Couple of them, and Jas gives a few of them a glare as well, coming up to you. He goes,
I'm
"Okay,
so
so the whole
confused.
thing. Well, you remember Archie, yeah?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, Cochrane.
Well, actually, he was. I don't think he was that
Archibald.
bad.
Nah, I mean, originally I didn't think so. Wasn't so bad. But he made me a deal for a really rare flower that he keeps at his shop. He made me a deal, something that normally costs, thousands of gold, all at once. I had an experiment I wanted to do with it. And in exchange for the flower, he just needed us to be in the area just in case something went down between him and some old. Well, he didn't really explain at the time, but I'm assuming it's like debtors or something now. We ended up taking the brunt of whatever attack was really meant for him. I don't even think it was an attack, honestly. I think he just tried to get out of a deal. They were going to take an attack on him. Or at least do something to him, and he called us in. So we got involved, and a little more involved than I think I meant to be. Needless to say, I'm not going to be doing anything for Archie again anytime soon. At this point, as he's saying that, you do see the man with his cane and his gleaming hair coming out of the box office, clapping, slow clap, very fitting for this small theater here. Echoes around with the acoustics. And just the slow clap. Thank you. Jaskier and Kar-halle, heroes of Coel. I appreciate everything you do for our fine community, protecting one of the greatest sponsors and greatest men of this little village here, as well as protecting a theater of gawking individuals. You ensured that no one was hurt, no one was killed except for those who deserved it. His eyes kind of like look a little to the corner as some of the bodies are being dragged away, and he goes, "But I am forever in your debt. I appreciate." Mr.
I
Red,
punched him in the face.
Jaskier's gonna try to stop you. Your hand flies, and he's gonna try to catch your fist. Do you want to contest it?
Yeah.
Okay, roll to contest. Go ahead and give me just a straight athletics check against his. It'll just be like, does he catch your fist, or does he redirect the fist more so, or does your fist make it through to the guy's face? You want to go for it?
Yeah. I said it. She's pissed.
Mm-hmm. When you throw up your hand, wait, what'd you get? Oh my gosh. Yeah, so okay, to be honest, I rolled so low. He rolled really low, to the point where I'm kind of like, I think when he goes, "No, wait," it was kind of like a, "No, wait." Don't do it. Throws up his hand, and he just goes to catch it, but it's such a light grasp. You can tell he wasn't even really trying at all. He's like, "Oh no, don't hit him."
No.
And the fist flies straight into this guy's nose. You hear a crack echo in the acoustics of the theater, and he goes, "Oh, my beautiful nose." He goes, I think it's broken. Leslie.
Yeah, it's
Leslie.
broken.
And you see a young woman coming out of the box seating area as well, coming down
I
the
would
stairs.
be disappointed in myself if it wasn't.
Jaskier goes, "You should probably get some ice for that." And does not have any qualms about this anymore either. And do you have any idea how much power I have in this entire city? Do you understand how difficult I can make your lives? Do we care? From Jas.
You know, I don't think we do, Kishandin. I think he'll just have to live with it.
And Archie goes, well, you could say goodbye to the flower you wanted to see from me. I can't imagine doing business with an individual as violent as you, folk. He turns on his heel, but Jazz steps forward and goes, oh, go ahead. Jazz steps forward, about to say something, and you go.
Or you can give him what you promised. And maybe next time you won't have people go in unarmed.
It's not my
on
fault
your
you couldn't
behalf.
sneak in your weapons. Jas goes, you didn't inform us that we'd be accosted by so many people. You didn't give that much information. We couldn't have come prepared. As far as I knew, all it was a short bodyguarding mission just to keep an eye on you. You didn't admit to how many people were out for your throat. And Archie.
Not difficult to wonder why.
I cannot, in good faith, have dealings with someone who broke my nose. And Jess goes, would you like her to make something else?
Oh, please. This man can barely keep me on a leash.
Roll me an intimidation check with advantage.
I'm proficient in that. Dirty 20.
Amazing. Dirty 20. Oh my gosh. Yeah, his eyes go wide. His eyes are a little bloodshot, watering already because of the nose, obviously. But he goes, no need for that. No need. Well, of course, you will get what you desire out of the initial agreement. We will have no further business between the two of us, of course, but I will have the flower delivered to your place of residence by the end of the week. Turns on his heel and tries to rush away.
Archie.
Pauses, awkwardly turns back to you.
Try end of the day. And I boop him on the nose. Cure wounds.
Leslie has finally caught up to you because she has these high heels that are scuffling in the dirt of the theater here. But she gets to you guys at this moment.
The boop was cure wounds.
Beautiful. And you hear another crack. And there's blood all over his fingers and everything. And he's, Leslie. And Leslie is finally there with her little handkerchief. She goes, something wrong? It's something wrong. What happened? What did you do? And he goes, oh, nothing. And he's glaring at you and Jaskier. And Jaskier is kind of smirking off to the side too. Also has some little slashes, little nicks here and there on his person, but he doesn't look worse for wear at all.
Remember that next time you deal with Kar-halle bears bane.
And I walk away.
Amazing. And Archie just kind of humps and am I bleeding? Am I still bleeding? To Leslie as she just kind of pats his face and everything from the inside. And as you guys leave the little theater, you do hear him mumbling something to Leslie about shipping the said package to the estate, the Coel estate, as soon as possible.
You know, this would have been a really great date if you had told me that I'd be helping people.
Well, it wouldn't have made a great surprise if I had, because you would have asked what it was for, and then the flower wouldn't have been a surprise in the first place. He's passing by where you guys had seats, by the way. He kind of hops over the barrier that separates the wooden seating up on the normal seats, and he grabs a little bouquet off of the stool, off of one of the pews there, and leaps back over. It lands next to you, and he hands you some semi-wilted flowers. It's been a few hours at this point, but the flowers are still
Fruitcraft.
pretty much in good condition. Oh yeah, you
Fruitcraft,
hold it,
Becky.
and the wilting, sad little flowers just kind of perk up a little bit and show their face to the sun, which is you in this context, and they all show their faces to you. I keep on whacking the wire. I'm so unused to wired headphones, so I keep on whacking it and tugging the computer. But the little flowers, by the way, if you so care to know, are a little bouquet made of honeysuckle flowers, wild roses, and white lilies. They're a nice collection. They don't seem to be something pulled from one of the local florist shops. Instead, it seems to be some stuff that he had hunted out in the woods just to find.
Sure, it's nice not living in a desert. Yeah.
He looks down at the flowers that he hands to you and how they look up at you and just brighten and shine and become a little more vibrant all of a sudden. And he just shakes his head with a smile and he goes, "It's magical how you do that. And I'm very glad to not be in a desert. It makes foraging a lot easier." And he walks out with you guys from the little theater, leaving behind the whining of Archibald in the background, Cochrane Archibald, and his new secretary, Leslie.
On our way out, when he hands me the flowers, I'll keep a hold of his hand and just give the back of his knuckles a kiss and cast Cure Wounds.
You see a few little scratches on his cheeks and one noticeable nick on his chin from when he'd fallen. He'd probably banged it on one of the rafters as he went down. But you see all of those seal over with a bit of moss until the moss falls away, and it's just new skin. And he rubs at it a little bit. Rubs at a couple scratches that are just gone now. Oh, nice. No, yeah, that
matters.
He's got a little bit of the remnant, like some of the skin is still a little pink and some of the scratches are still like visible, but they're all closed up. He wasn't that bad off. He had about 12 hit points missing. And he goes, I'll make it up to you. Like I said I would. So, how about I take you up the mountain? I found a couple good spots. See if you like them.
Up the mountain?
We could pick up some food. We'll make a picnic out of it. The sun's going down, though, so we might have to hurry.
Okay.
He runs off for a second. He leaves. He kind of like taps your hand a couple times to like an almost inaudible, "I'll be right back," and he takes off. A couple minutes later, he comes back. He seemed to have actually climbed into the bushes behind one of the buildings nearby. Might have been the local florist shop, actually. Comes back and he has just a branch, like a small branch about this big, with multiple different spokes coming off of it, almost like a Christmas tree, like silhouette almost. But there's no leaves on it at all. There's no foliage on it. And he hands it to you.
I don't want to say I liked the flowers better.
No, he cocks his head, puts up a finger. This is the most beautiful flower you'll ever see. I'll prove it to you. And he grabs your wrist and he pulls you towards towards home as of now, towards the mansion, but mainly toward the mountain. The trek that you guys have to take to come down to town is it's an ample trek. With you guys are athletic, so it doesn't necessarily tire you guys out fully or anything. But it is a few miles going back. Instead of taking you toward the mansion, however, he takes you up kind of a little bit of a curving scenic route, a route you're vaguely familiar with as one close to where Darius's family lives. They live closer down the mountain. Narcissus even lives around this kind of level on the base of the mountain as well, farther from the town. The town is mostly directly in the valley and the curve up the mountain. You have Darius's house is a little bit up that curve, and Narcissus is also up that curve a little bit to the west side of the mountain. But you guys make your way up the same path that might take you to Darius. But even then, about halfway there, he pulls you off of it, and he seems to go off into a trailless direction. Turns to you. I've been making my way around, just checking out the area, I guess, see what there is to see. We've had a lot of downtime, so pun intended by the DM. But he's making his way up. Turns to you again. He goes, "Sorry you missed the earlier parts of the night, though. It was a nice play. Funny. I've seen funnier."
I don't think I have, and yeah, I don't remember any of it.
He turns back to you, like face fallen. He goes, "What had happened, Archie? I didn't tell you originally because I didn't want you to kill him. Archie, he'd handed us these drinks. They were like shots that he had given us as like his bodyguards or something, like a toast that he made with us. But I think he was intending for us not to remember the entire situation, I suppose. I honestly, I can't even quite recall who the individuals were that were attacking him. I just know kind of how it turned out based on context after. I think the whole thing was just so he didn't have to worry about people knowing his business more than he wanted them to."
It's a good thing you didn't tell me. I probably would have killed him.
Yeah. But just know, Archie is a pretty powerful individual in this town. Killing him will have consequences. And I'm not really sure how far his fingers reach into Elithkar in general, I guess. He seems pretty self-important. And as far as my experience has gone, people that self-important have a reason to be, at least with how many people will cause trouble if they go missing.
Like me?
Exactly like you. Who would want a crazed, bald woman after them? Like, that would be horrifying. He's traipsing through the woods, and as he says horrifying, he like steps on a little twig that cracks, and it makes him jump a little bit as he'd been like imagining Kanari like going after someone that had hurt you. Turns back to you again as he's making his way up. We're almost there, but I did want to ask you, where do you see this going? Because I'm enjoying this. I am. And it's been a couple months now, but do you have a plan, or are we just living life to the fullest? Which is okay. It's fair. I just was curious. I know you have stuff going on, vague stuff that Raiden's talked about. I don't think you should really be doing anything with Raiden anymore. He doesn't seem to be the most trustworthy individual. I mean, I know, I've told you already. I know, you know my thoughts. He just doesn't seem like a guy.
Are you going to shut up long enough for me to answer the damn question?
Sorry. Go ahead.
Whew, okay. Several big questions. Do you care which I answer first?
Dealer's choice.
Okay. For the vague things I've got going on, I'm going home. as soon as Braden can find them. I'm going back to Talai, and I guess I'm kind of answering both questions here. I'd like you to come with me.
Where home is Kel, isn't it?
You see, she kind of twitches a little bit. Legally, yes. But if it were anyone other than you asking that, I'd be ripping their head off. We don't need to get into that and my issues with Kel. But
You told me some. But not a lot.
it's kind of what happened to Viol and Florin with Tal. They took our land, and because we were powerful enough to cause some problems for Kel, they agreed to leave us alone as long as they called our land Kel. So there were apparently some other things going on that I was not apprised of.
There always are.
Not like this. I have to go back. I don't. Oh, you weren't there when I talked to my mother about this. Are you sure you want to talk about this?
Is this when she and you were shouting across the mansion?
Are you sure you want to talk about this now?
I mean, nothing better to do. And he pulls a branch back as you pass through. The spot I'm taking you to is a tree that's maybe about 500 yards that way.
I'm going to kill my uncle.
Oh. And the branch he was holding for himself and you, he ends up like letting go of it. It smacks him in the face, and he's like, oh, that's heavy. That's heavy. Pushes it forward again and lets you through.
Yeah.
Killing family, that's not fun.
Family is a generous term. I have to restore order for my father, for his memory. My uncle's the one that killed him. So whether or not after that after I kill him, I don't I don't know. I've told you, you know, who I am. I'm supposed to be chieftain of the greatest tribe in Talai.
You've told me that there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of expectation that you're supposed to lead them, right?
You could say that. And as
didn't you say your mom released you from that or something? Didn't you say she didn't need you to lead or something like that?
She doesn't, but my people aren't as free thinking as she is. It's complicated. I never never even considered I'm supposed to be chieftain, but I don't know. I kind of thought I might, eventually, after I became chieftain, she's kind of just like rambling, not looking at him as they're walking.
Mhm.
Maybe I might eventually marry to secure a good alliance with another tribe, or maybe for companionship, but I never imagined myself falling in love.
His footsteps, like his gait, seems to falter for just a second, but he catches himself and he keeps walking, almost barely noticeable. He goes, "We're here. It's this tree I found." And he seems a little like awkward, like a little stepping past it, not really referring to what you just said. And that way, that's a little disheartening and a little bit like, okay, at least you don't have to actually engage with it. So it's a little like that mix of like bitter and sweet of like, okay, I don't have to focus on it now. Okay, kind of wanted to though. But he pulls you over and he shows you kind of a little tree that has a bit of water around it, actually. It's almost like a small pond here. The tree itself that he's referring to is this large, beautiful, beautiful tree, branches luscious. There's even some blossoms in it too. You're not quite sure what it is. You might have to go up to examine it closer. The branches themselves seem to take up more space than most of the other trees and the foliage that you guys just left. Most of the forest is not made of whatever kind of tree this is. It almost looks like it was specially planted here. As you guys get a little bit closer to where the water around it is, it's almost like a little oasis, and the base of the tree makes this little island in the middle of a very small pond. The water itself reflects the failing light very well. The water itself seems like it's not flowing, so it's not necessarily clear. This wouldn't necessarily be good water for drinking, but it is beautiful because of how thick the water is. It reflects the changing lights of the night sky as the sun sets and stars are just barely peeking out of the still blue sky. And you see these little flickering lights that are floating above the pond itself, on the water's edge. And these flickering lights are collecting around the tree as the sun is falling. Jas beckons you forward. He kind of rushes you over to the bank of this little pond, and he pats a seat next to him, pulls you down next to him. And he goes, "Okay, hold up your branch."
I'll hold it out.
You pull it up, and, it's just a branch, a twig, really, with all these little offshoot twigs on it. And as you're kind of confused and you look at him, he just kind of nudges his eyebrows a little bit and looks at the branch and stares at it, and then looks out around him as you see these flickering lights starting to hover a little closer and a little closer. You see one of them sit on the branch, another one come and sit on the branch. And you see just a small little flood of these little fireflies drifting in toward this little branch. And each of the little fireflies rests on one, and you can see the flickering, almost like some sort of decoration that you've seen in winters past, from candles and everything that decorate the windows and the marketplace. But the flickering lights remind you of little flames as they dance along the branches of your little twig. And it is quite beautiful. he goes, the most beautiful flower in the world, at least in this moment. Looks up at the tree, and you can see that the tree is being filled with the fireflies as well, as they collect and grow even brighter as the sun falls even further. At this point, the stars are taking precedent in the night sky, and the blue is waning even more until finally it's just the barest hint of orange on the horizon.
Okay. You were right. Enjoy the moment. I don't say that often.
He does reach over and take your other hand, though.
When did I say you could call me Kar? No one's ever called me that.
Yes. You didn't really. I think I just called you Kar once, and you're like, didn't comment. So I thought it fit.
You know what I called you earlier? Kishandin. Do you know what that means?
I was going to ask you about that. In the moment, it was a little. I was more focused on Archie and the bleeding nose. Hilarious. But what does it mean?
It's Goliath. It's hard to translate into common. But something like sunlight. My sunlight.
As you're saying this, you can see all these flickering lights collecting on the little branch you're holding, and it glows pretty bright at this point. Every time the fireflies flicker out, other fireflies are flickering in, and it's always lit, almost. It's a beautiful little piece of light you're holding. He goes, Kar, I'll come with you. I'd like to go home with you, whatever that means.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. But whether I become chieftain, or if I remain with the Shadow's End, or if I go back to Tal with you to work with the ethereal, whatever path that is, I'd like to know that I have you. The world is dark and cruel. But you, Jaskier Van of Tal, the Buttercup, hero of Eralt and Eren, son of honor, you are my sunlight. So long as I have you, I can take on any darkness.
He chuckles, rubs his hand over his face, like he turns just the littlest bit of red.
You can't ask you can't ask me questions like that and expect me to not be honest. You asked.
Turns
You
away a
asked
bit.
where this was going. The only place I'm going is towards you.
He goes, turns to you. He like changes his whole body language. He was facing the tree originally. He turns and faces you. Crisscross applesauce on the grass here. He takes the little branch in your hands and he kind of sticks it up in the water nearby. So it's still full of the little fireflies Some of them leave since it was jostled a bit in the movement. But he just sticks it up nearby and turns to face you, grabs your wrists, pulls them in. Okay. We'll see where this goes. I'll go home with you. And I think I'd like to help you get that home back, whatever that means. And if I have a place there, then great. I'll still help out with the ethereal. I'm sure they need Kellen spots of contact. Maybe even Alethian spots of contact. They need to grow and expand anyway. And...
You're serious?
Yeah. I think I am.
You're saying if I went back to Talai, if I became chieftain, you would stay?
Roll me a persuasion check. But with advantage. Oh my god. Yeah, so he's got his... You say that, and there's a little pause as his eyes kind of glance over the water, take in the lights of the tree and the dark, starry night that's fallen over the two of you. I've been following what my family needed for a long time. Not that they can't do well with it for themselves. My grandma, obviously, she's a talented woman. And my sister, she just needed a reason to get involved. With me gone, she stepped up. While I was gone, when I'd been MIA, she took over the shop. Or at least she took over for where my grandma couldn't. My grandmere couldn't. She's been doing better with me out of the picture than she had been with me in the picture. Who knew? Sometimes the youngest just needed the oldest to step away for a minute for them to shine, you know? Leans in a little bit. I think I should go shine in a different area, somewhere someone needs me, you know? My family doesn't right now. And I think I see a different place for me. And I'd like to see where this goes. Puts his hand on yours, kisses it. He leans in to kiss you. Something gentle. And he kisses you under the lights of this tree.
And she kisses him back. Probably a little less gentle.
You guys probably hang out in this little secluded clearing in the middle of the woods for a little while. Probably pretty late into the evening. And by the time you get back to the mansion, you guys making your way in. Enora has been making her way back and forth between this mansion, seeing you, and her herbalist shop that she's trying to keep up over back in Kel, actually. So she's been having almost manhandling Raiden into teleporting her back and forth and back and forth and back and forth periodically. This is one of her interludes out, seemingly. But you are greeted upon entering the mansion and the different servants that bring you guys in. Raiden coming down the stairs in his swaths of robes and cloth and his kind of flying crazy curls and all that. His a little manic grin, and he goes, "Oh, where have you been off to this evening? I don't appreciate you keeping her out so late, Mr. Venn." And Jaskier is like, "I don't think you have an opinion in this at all."
Don't worry. We were just out killing some people. No big deal.
Oh, well, I suppose that's far more acceptable, actually. Never mind. I have no more concern. And he drifts off into the other room. His eyes, as he was saying this, he did actually seem distracted, probably miles away, working out some sort of arcane problems and equations in his mind. And when he ran into you guys, he had commented, but he drifts off in many swooping clothes as he rushes past you guys. Turns back, pauses, turns back, and he goes, "Kar-halle, dear, you deserve all the happiness. All the happiness." And he sweeps off again. Jas kind of bumps your shoulder. Goes, "I feel like I agree with him on one single thing now."
Well, I think I have it.
And you guys probably go off to bed together. Honestly.
I had something that I have been wanting to ask for so long.
Oh, yeah?
That I haven't ever gotten to.
Go for it.
Just on our way back up, because I'm imagining it's a long walk.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I've been wanting to ask for close to a year now.
Mm-hmm.
When I came to you in Twinning Dreams, your first reaction was to try to get rid of me. And when I didn't leave, you said that it was different from normal. I think it would be...
His face turns totally red.
I think it would be a bit vain for me to assume anything. And I'd like you to look me in the eye and say it. Because I think
roll
it will fluster you.
Shamefacedness.
I think it will fluster you, and I think you're adorable when you're flustered. Persuasion would be an 18.
18 is good. Yeah, he turns to you. His face is red. He seems, though, since it's been long enough, you know in that whole thing when, like, it's been a long enough period of time in between that you're like, okay, this is something I never would have said to you out loud a million years ago, but since it's now, I'll do it, even though I'm still embarrassed. That kind of vibe. But he turns to you, looks you in the eye, and he goes, "I admit I dreamed about you a couple times. And I thought it might have been one of those times. Yeah." That's pretty much it. Just dreamed about you a few times before that. Okay. Within said dreams, we were at the, we were doing that first date and everything. Sometimes you were at the shop with me, and sometimes it was more than just chatting. Don't make me say anymore. And he turns around and walks up the stairs.
See, your face gets all pink and you start to ramble. God, I love it.
and you rush up after him. He's definitely like he's got that pace where it's almost like a race back to your guys' room. At this point, it is pretty much shared. There's no separate quarters. But
you didn't answer me earlier.
He stops his stride going up one of the new sets of stairs and turns back and he goes, "Which question?"
Well, it wasn't less of a question. It was more of something I said that you ignored. I didn't mean to say it like that, but I Jess, I meant it.
He steps down and grabs your hand and he goes, "I know you meant it. And I don't want to."
You don't have to say it back.
I think I could. I even want to, but I don't want to say it until I can be sure that I'm not gonna. You know, when my dad died, he didn't die like a hero. He died for my country, yes. And people hailed him as one, but he died a coward. They didn't tell me the whole thing, but I think he'd run away from the battle. My dad had always been a brave man. And to hear that he had, when the time called for it, that he packed up and run, I don't know. I've been living a lot of life trying to prove that I wasn't him. But I don't know. I want to make sure that I don't end up being him for you. So give me time.
When my father was killed, part of me died with him. And losing my tribe, bit of insult to injury. I've been so full of this burning rage. I've held on to it because it's all I've had left of him. I've let it. You know, I've let it shatter me over and over and over with everything, with the soul curse and Raiden and all of that. I had no interest in putting the pieces back together. I didn't think I would be worth the trouble it would take to put the pieces back together. But you made me want to. For you always.
You're worth all the time in the world to put the pieces back together, Kar-halle. And for what it's worth, I never looked at you and saw a broken person. A hurting one. An aching one. But not broken. You're too tough for that. Miss Kar-halle Bearsbane, Invala of the Torstendraki tribe. Partner in the Shadow's End and savior of Tal. I appreciate the time it takes for me to get my head in order and make sure I'm not gonna back out on you in the worst moment. And just to make sure I'm ready for whatever adventure we have in our future. Yeah. Nonetheless, I think we're bound from here on out.
Are we?
Depends. Do you have dream moss on you?
I don't need it.
His hand tangles in your hand.
For you, Keisha and Dean, I'd wait a lifetime.
He tucks you up.
Can I kiss you?
And you kind of tug at him a little bit, and he shifts down one of the stairs. He's high enough on the stairs, actually, that he's a little taller than you in this moment. Not that there's a large difference between you guys all the time. Just about 5 inches, I think.
6.
But in this moment, he's taller. He leans down.
And meet him halfway.
You feel his human hand kind of brushing against the crystals on your neck as he pulls you in. And with that, we'll probably close on your one-on-one date night.
Ooh. Aww.
Very cute.
Gross.
Very, very cute indeed.
Well, I think we can probably end the live, right?
I think so. Bye-bye, everyone. End stream. End.